Today's video, we are going to talk about tow company marketing and why you don't want to market your tow company before you see this particular video. I am a marketing genius. I've been doing Google Ads and online advertising for hundreds of companies over the last 20 years, including companies that I've ran in the past, sold off, also own currently to this day. One niche of which we've focused on a lot is the towing industry. And so what I have to share for you or with you in today's video is what specifically I've seen and heard works in the towing space from other towing company owners that's outside the realm of online advertising, which is my forte, and what specifically has worked for us in the past in the towing space in terms of online advertising. And with that said, you could pretty much just break everything down to offline and online, okay? The offline has its own challenges, as per what our clients have been telling us. And I like to get this information at our advertising firm because I'm part business consultant, part advertising guy. And, really you should be wrapping what you're trying to do to get clients offline with the online marketing and advertising that you do as a whole to make it work together the best. So I hear a lot of other stories about what's going on. The online stuff has its own challenges, okay? They both have pros and cons like everything else in life. I'm going to go through what those pros and cons are. And then specifically with an example towing company, in terms of the results that we got, not only just the cost per lead, what you're going to be paying, but also the closing rate on the leads that you're going to get, which is its own consideration or factor, or should be your consideration when you decide who and where you're going to get leads from. Because the closing rates vary by individual advertising channel or place you get leads, which is what I'm going to tell you about in today's video as well. With that said, I'm going to get into the content, but before I do, I am Corey Zyman, owner of Guaranteed PPC, a online advertising agency that specializes in guaranteeing results for their clients. That is, we don't charge clients management fees until we can get them a certain minimum lift in their profitability or to a certain minimum profitability with their ads up front. And the reason why we're able to do this and other agencies haven't, because I'm the lead strategist at the firm and I've got 20 years of advertising experience and been working with hundreds of companies to understand how to get guaranteed results for clients. With that said, getting into the content. Offline stuff that really works, dumping pamphlets off at hotels and all this other crap. It's just basically a waste of time, at least compared to the stuff that works. If you're going to get into doing offline, of course you got your dreaded insurance work that almost everybody thrives off of and lives off of, but hates at the same time because they don't pay you worth it. And if you rely your whole business on insurance work, it's just never going to be that profitable. And they basically got you by the balls and they know it. You know it as well if you're relying on insurance work right now. You want to be able to charge full price, $100, $150 a tow, not get $60 a tow from the insurance company. Well, the only way you're going to do that is by not being lazy and short-sighted and building your own damn advertising funnel for your business and not just relying on the insurance leads. It's just like the insurance companies are getting you addicted to crack and you can't get off of it. Oh, I need it, so I have to do it. Well, that's how drug addicts think as well. You don't want to think and build your entire business around that. Because frankly, once they got you by the short and curlies, they're going to basically decide what you're going to get, how you're going to get it. And you're going to be their little puppet. Here you are dancing. Doo, 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 doo. We want to pay you $50 a lead this week. And then you're going to be able to say nothing because you cannot take the downtime of not having the leads. Insurance work is great to get you up and going. But you got to take what you're making, what little profit you're making, and set aside a good chunk of it so you can build yourself an advertising system. So you can wean completely off the tit of these insurance companies. If you want to do insurance, though, it could be a staple, obviously part of your business. If you want to get into the dirty world of, getting police to refer your towing company or businesses like, getting the McDonald's franchise owner to let you put, obviously your signs in front of the store, giving them a kickback. All this stuff takes kickbacks to work. Everybody doesn't talk about it necessarily, but that's exactly what's going on. In the referral world, unless you're going to pay somebody to get a referral, you're not going to get no damn referrals. Not only that, even if you did convince somebody to refer you for free, they're going to forget about you the next person that wants to get referrals from them talks to them and butters them up a little bit. It's not going to be long lasting. And you may say, well, I'll follow up with them to maintain the relationship. Okay, good luck doing that with 100 referral sources, because that's what it's going to take, ongoing business. The only sustainable way to scale referrals is to create a referral commission structure that pays real damn good. And even then, you're still going to be apt to have somebody else who's willing to pay even more money, and now suddenly you lost that referral source. So whoever pays highest kickback gets it. So now you got to start getting into some real shady, doing a whole bunch of your customers in order to make more money per customer so you can offer a higher kickback. And if you want to get into doing that, it can be highly lucrative, but you have to play that dirty game, well, essentially. And from what I've seen, it gets to be real dirty, because the business owner is getting a kickback for every car they get towed, and they're going to start calling people, within 5 minutes of parking in the wrong place, which they have their right to do that. The people that care about it are going to be super greedy about it, and they're going to want to be paid a lot. And if you don't pay them enough, they're going to go to another tow company and be like, hey, this guy over here is giving me $30, will you give me 50? You're going to be playing that game. So anyway, for the most part, if you don't want to be in that stupid, greedy, unethical game of screwing over your customers in order to pay high commission structures to your people who refer you business, then you got to get into running an honest advertising campaign for your business. And the main way you do that is you run ads on Google and secondarily on Bing. If you're not an ad expert, yes, it's hard to do. Just like anything else in life, the first time you tried to tie your shoes, it was hard. You figured it out though, and now it's easy. Now that you finally know how to do it, it's nothing. Running these ads successfully for your tow business is the same exact way. You just can't expect to be, what people do. Google's done a really good job of making their ads look really, really, really easy to run. Sure, you can set up an ad campaign in 5 minutes and get your ads running with them. All you need is air in your lungs and a credit card. Doesn't mean it's going to be profitable. And what they love to do is get their hands on somebody who's really dumb, who doesn't understand ROI analysis or how to calculate ROI. And you run your ads with your, people will say, oh, I have $300 a month to invest into Google ads. When somebody tells me that at our agency, that comes to me and they say, I want to hire you for PPC and my budget's $300 a month for ads, budgets shouldn't be static like that. What you're looking for is a certain cost per lead. If you can hit that cost per lead, you get as many damn leads as you can, of course, as quickly as you can scale your trucks and whatnot. And everything you're doing to get the thing to a certain cost per lead, the only way it pays off, because it's a load of work up front, is to scale that damn ad campaign to its maximum level possible. If you're going to say, well, my budget's 300 and that's just all it is, well, the work that you're willing to put in to get it to work is almost nil, which means you're not going to get a positive ROI because your cost per lead is going to be too high. And instead of it being $6 a call, it's going to be 30, and you're not going to make any money, and you're literally working for free for Google. Google loves you at that point in time because they can sell their ads for more than they're worth to you, give you the traffic, because this is the game that they're playing. There's 10 guys cycling in and out of the 4 spots on Google for the search results that you want to show up for, towing near me, that's and the like. And they are constantly evaluating everybody's ads on their landing pages / websites. And whoever does the best job for their users, they want to encourage to stick around. So they give them the good traffic and they charge them the least amount that they can for it. And the people who do it lazy and entitled and think this should be done in 5 minutes in a market that has the competition. If you're out in bumfuck Egypt, of course they're not going to have the liberty to do this to you because they need somebody to take on to sell ads to. But if you're in a market with a lot of competition, which is most markets that aren't in the middle of nowhere, then they're going to send you, once they pegged you as just another guy who thinks this should be easy, if you're dumb enough to keep taking the clicks from them indefinitely, they'll keep giving it to you. And so you basically sticking your head in the sand saying, I know it works, because you don't want to believe your $300 a month doesn't work, sending you this junk traffic that isn't worth anything. Do you really want to be there? Or do you want to be in the situation where you know how to do the ads, you know your numbers, You do everything you damn well can to have the best ad in your market, the best landing page in your market, regardless of it costing a few grand to set it up correctly at the beginning, so that when Google looks at your stuff, they're like, damn, this guy's the #1 guy in our space now. We're going to lay it on him thick in terms of value to encourage him to not go anywhere. Then you can make the money that you expect to make on it. Most people, though, they're in that second category of thinking it should be easy. And when somebody tells them, like myself, that this takes a couple hundred hours of planning and work just to set up your ads before you run a single ad, in terms of proper planning on the campaigns, the landing pages, the tracking you need, tracking bookings, how much people are spending, feeding that data into the ad account so the machine learning algorithm could self-approve based upon it, which is all stuff they don't want to hear. They just want to hear, you know what? This is easy, John, and it's only going to cost you $50 a month to pay me. When we set this up, you're going to be rich in no time. All I ask for is $50 a month. And then 95% of the agencies out there that help people will tell them what they want to hear, which is basically what I just told you, so they can get their money. And like Google, they're going to hope you're a moron and don't know how to track any of your return on investment, so they can keep selling you an absolute and collecting their $50 a month fee for no value. For actually less than no value, because you're going to be working for free after your expenses. So with all that said, okay, you either do it right all the way through, or you don't do it at all if you're going to go this Google route. So what this actually ends up being at the end of the day, this is no panacea over here. At least if you're not going to look at it from the standpoint that it's going to take a lot of work. Yes, it's going to take a lot of work to get referrals. It's going to take a lot of work to get your Google ad campaign right. There's no free lunch at the end of the day. However, I'm going to be going Google ads all day long, not just because I know how to run an ad campaign that will write out of any other campaign I'm running and competing against in any market. I do mean you could put me in the middle of LA, I'm going to have the best campaign. Because it certainly helps because I've set up hundreds of campaigns, but all the stuff that helps you make money, I talk about it for free on this channel. It's like the lack of information, it's not an excuse. This is going to take time to ultimately set up for yourself. You got to do it right. When it works, though, the upside is it works and it works and it works. In fact, it works better and better all the time, because if you feed in data about who's booking and how much they've spent and so forth, the ad campaign is going to progressively get more profitable. And with your dumb competitors not feeding in their sales data, sales revenue, profit data into their ad account to have the algorithm self-improve their ads for them, they're going to be going after the cheapest leads. You're going to be going after the leads that are most profitable, and then you get all the profit for yourself over time. They don't, because they're too short-sighted or lazy or arrogant to do that level of tracking and optimization of their account. You can look at it negatively, like, oh, I shouldn't have to be a rocket scientist to run my ads. Or you could look at it as, most people are lazy, and I'm going to make all the millions of dollars from these ads, and they're not. I want to be in the situation where I know it's hard, so that at least when I put the work in, it's going to work, versus everybody can put a little bit of work in. What would happen then naturally is everybody gets a tiny bit of results. You don't want to be in that world. Whereas we would all have our cake and eat it too, which is to make millions of dollars with no effort. So does all your damn competitors. They've all heard of Google Ads before. You got to grow up and realize anything in life that's going to be worth that much to your business and to you is not going to be easy. Man up, pull your panties up, finally get down to work, put these ads together, and you'll crush it. Literally, you'll make millions of dollars a year in your business profitably running these ads once it's actually set up to beat your competition. And it's not worth it, take it from me and myself, to run these ads and just say, I'll just try a little bit. It's just not going to probably be profitable for you. So with that said, what does that mean? Now, on Google, all these people that are typing in towing services and the like, you can get leads from the Google My Business profile, or like the 3-pack as we call it in the marketing space, where there's 3 listings there next to the map. You got people calling from the Google Guarantee, which we call local service ads. You got people that are going to call from the Google ad itself, Google Ads. Then you got people calling from the organic section. So there's actually 4 places to show up for on Google for towing near me, towing services, towing companies, and the like. And your ideal situation would be to show up at all 4, because you're going to get the most money that way. And instead of making $1 million a year at your towing company, you can make 2, 3, 4 million just as easily, taking the money you make from just doing one really, really right, and then reinvesting into the others and just really crush it for your business. So with that said, where would you typically start? If you were to start with one and you weren't doing anything right now, that's going to get you the most return in the least amount of time, the least amount of money and effort. Ultimately, even though we don't manage LSA ads here almost at all at our advertising firm, I would say just do LSA ads. Why? Because it takes the least amount of skills and effort to get something going. The problem with it is, though, it's hard to get verified as a business, and if you don't have any reviews, there again, it's not going to be easy to get calls. So that might not be the answer for you. And then Google My Business, of course you could set up a profile with Google for free, but if you don't have any reviews, you're not going to get ranked. So that could be the best option for you if you don't have a lot of reviews. Then it leaves Google Ads and organic. Well, on your organic, if you don't have any traffic going to your site already, you're not a 25-year-old company, you're likely ranking organically, which is the free listings way at the bottom of the page, isn't going to work either. So really all you're left with is this Google Ads at the end of the day that has something that regardless of where you're starting from, you can make it work right away. Regardless if you have 0 reviews. Now, I will admit, it certainly helps a hell of a lot if you have good reviews to go with your Google Ads campaign. But if you don't have it, you can make it profitable enough where it's past break even for you. And then you can get the reviews and then it'll just become more profitable. Which, if you don't know your situation, where you're at, with the number of reviews you have, or whatever, you can always leave me a comment in the comment section below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. You can also, of course, reach out to me at my firm at guaranteeppc.com. I can give you a review of your account and then let you know what we could guarantee for you, taking over the actual account building, ourselves, which would be worth every penny because we've already done towing ads. We already know what works. And along with that, if you just want to buy the ad template from us, the ads, the landing pages, all of it we used for our last campaign, we sell that as well for a few grand, which sounds like a lot to somebody who's not thinking right. Buy a templated campaign that gets $6 a call in the towing space, which is profitable all day long, for 5 grand, considering you're going to be able to make 5 grand a month profit when this thing is running already. So if you don't like having somebody manage your campaigns, you can buy the template from us, manage your own stuff, but start with the winning ad landing page and all that works. Anyway, with that said, back to what I was saying here, Google Ads, okay, if you run your ads right, you're going to be at about $6 a call on Google Ads, which is very profitable. And this is selling your towing services for $100 an average call. $6 a call at 75% closing rates, you're talking about $9-10 a booking. So you're at 1,000% ROI. That's profitable all day long for 95% of towing companies. And that should be your target. And when you set up your campaign, you want to set up all your tracking so you know if you got it or not. It says, oh, I don't need tracking. Oh, what difference does it make? And then just not know if you're actually getting your $6 per call and judging the success of your campaign based upon whether your bank account explodes or not, because that's what losers do. What you're doing is too predicated on small margins for you to be able to evaluate your campaign that way. With call tracking programs like CallRail, you can literally not just think or guess you have a certain cost per call. You damn well know what your cost per call is because every single call is tracked through your campaign that you're running, whether they're calling from the ad, they're calling from the landing page. It's all there in your account. You could run that analysis, and instead of being so smug and think that your campaign's so successful because you're a genius at setting these things up, even though you have no experience, and just assuming it's profitable, force yourself to see if you actually did it right or not. And if you want to try to do it yourself at the beginning, that's cool. But if you can't get to a $6 cost per call, then you are wasting your time, essentially, because there is no value paying $20 a call. That is if you have a bigger company of overhead and stuff. Maybe that'll work for a sole operator with just one truck. And with that said, just as a side, you should actually calculate what you need up front. Look at what your average ticket size from a client or customer is. Take that times your average closing rate on the calls you get now. And then obviously you have to multiply that by your overhead. And then that'll tell you what cost per call is at your break-even point. Then you know you got to at least be there. And before you run your ads, you should do that, which very few people do. Most people run ads, and then after the fact, they're like, does this work? I wonder if it's even working. Oh, my bank account's low today. Pause. And they don't do things the correct way. You got to know exactly what cost per call you need. You got to track it all, and you got to know so it's black and white, baby. You either hit the cost per call you need to be profitable or you didn't. And if you did it, you damn well start watching these videos on this channel to figure out why and what you can do to fix it. You go ahead and, you call somebody that's an expert to finally get you over that threshold. But It's a totally different mindset. That's a total winner's mindset versus a loser's mindset that thinks, oh, I can't afford to spend $3,000 a month on ads. Who do you think you are? Ultimately, the money that you're spending is irrelevant. Can you get to the cost per call that you need? If you can, you'd be a complete for not scaling up the calls that you could get. Unless you're just a sole operator guy, that's all you want to do is just make a $70,000 a year income working for yourself. That's cool. Not everybody wants to be King Midas. If you want to actually be rich and make $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year, scaling up a business for yourself, you could just as easily do that once you hit your number with your campaign just by recycling your profit back into it and then maxing it out. And then along with what I said, reinvesting what you're making from the Google ads to LSA, GMB, and so forth. With all that said, if you want to know like what ratio of your calls should come from each one of these things, I did an audit for the last towing company that I work with prior to making this video. We found out roughly about 50% of their calls would come from Google My Business, which is why you would want to try to get that going first if you had a ton of reviews. For what it's worth, I'm not an SEO expert. I know quite a bit about it, and we've helped people, get guaranteed GMB ranking. If you're interested in that, you can also reach out to us at our firm. We have a partner company we work with. But with that said, the main factor, if you want to really know what works to rank GMB on GMB, it's number of reviews, the keywords within the reviews itself. If you have somebody types in, this is a fantastic towing services company, guess what? You'll start ranking for towing services company pretty much right after that. That's a big, big part of the algorithm, other than, citations and all that stuff. But that's an even bigger, you could have 0 citations and get a shitload of reviews and you'll rank, especially with keyword-laced reviews, which is why I tell people all the time, instead of letting your people, put their own reviews, call people up, ask them their experience, what their experience was like. If they say something positive, say, oh, I'm going to type you up a review and send it over. Would you copy paste it into the account and you'll get more ranking that way? Because the review, you can artificially keyword lace the review. So that's a little side move that you can do. Anyway, 50% of the calls you should be getting if you were to advertise in each one of these spaces should be from GMB, 20% from LSA or Google Guaranteed, 20% roughly from Google Ads, and then another 10% from organic, which, by the way, shows you why it's a waste of time ranking organically anymore. It's a nice bonus that you can add on once you've done these other things here, but basically nobody scrolls to the bottom of the screen to click on those. Some people still do because they want to know what Google's recommending versus a paid ad, which they know is a paid ad. But with that said, by the way, I understand a lot of companies can't afford to hire an ad expert because they're just starting out, or maybe they're only doing a couple $100,000 a year in revenue. And they got to figure stuff out for themselves, because if you hire a company for $500 a month, they're just going to hand it to you, because most of the companies that charge that, that's what they're doing. Okay, if you think about it from the economics of that person that you hire, if you charged only $500 for PPC services a month, how many damn clients would you need as the owner of that agency to make a good mid six figure income a year? You would need like 5,000 accounts. Who the hell has 5,000 accounts? The only people that are charging that and that can afford to make that business work is people who intend to do almost no work and almost take the entire 500 that you're giving them, keep it and nestle it away so that when they fire you, they can use part of it to find the next in line, and that's how that end of the market works ultimately. So if you can't afford to hire a real ad agency, you have to go to work figuring this yourself. I've talked about how on this channel, single keyword ad groups are the way to just beat your competition without being a genius, and not run call-only ads, which call-only ads are easy to set up, but they don't get as many calls overall, and the closing rate on the calls typically is not going to be the same. Now, you will get almost the same amount of calls with call-only ads in the towing space. I will admit that, but you're still going to make more with regular search ads, because the people who call the call-only ads aren't going to close at the same rate as the people who call from the landing page. Ultimately, call from the call extension on the ad. Why? Because there's more information to go on before you call. So I would not do call-only ads in the towing space unless you really, really don't think you're able to build a successful campaign any other way. We'll just say you're going to make some, but not all you could make. But all the information that you need to do single keyword ad group campaigns, it's all on this channel for free. It's literally comes from myself on the way that I built campaigns to guarantee results for clients. I spend 40 hours a week doing ad strategy at our firm, and then on the weekends, I literally do the content for this channel. So you're getting it from somebody who really knows what the hell they're doing, and because I'm in the trenches doing the work. 99% of the other information you're going to find online about how to make money with ads is coming to you by people who don't run ads and are selling courses, people who run a couple ads And, ultimately they own an agency and they also aren't in the trenches actually doing the work. It's very, very, very rare you find somebody spending 40 hours a week at their day job just doing ad strategy. Not even just doing everything, but just the strategy, which is what we do at our firm. What I do for clients at our firm, the rest of it our team handles. You cannot get a better source of information. And it comes from somebody who guarantees results for clients that nobody else agency world does at all, because they're too afraid or don't know what the hell they're doing. So you can't get better information that you're going to find on this channel. So if you haven't subscribed already, you should. If you plan on running your own campaigns, which is cool, you just have to not be clueless when you're doing what you're doing for it to work and put the work in to learn it. Most people that are under $500,000 a year in sales revenue don't work with us because our fees are too high compared to the volume that we bring in and economics of it to work out. But what I always tell people is to study this channel, get it up to your business up to close to that level, even 300,000 a year in sales. Then come to us and we'll just take it to the moon for you. And you just have to scale your operations and just worry about that side of your business truly. But if you're doing 50,000 a year, an ad agency is just going to end up ripping you off. So you study this channel, you implement and you test and get it to a certain level that you want. And you can just start out with a budget you can afford to lose, whether that be 10 bucks a day, $5 a day. Find a model that'll get you to your cost per conversion you need and then start slowly scaling it up. That's what most other people that you see spending big money, where they started out. People get confused and they say, I can't afford to do Google ads like my competitor. The reality is they all started out where they started out. Just every business started out as a one-man show, basically speaking. They just studied their ass off to figure out what works, figured out what works, and then scaled it up. The ads are the same way. Very, very rarely does anybody start with a $15,000 budget a month. They start with $1,000, get it working, then it's $2,000, then it's $3,000, and then pretty soon they're raking in the dough. All the information on this channel that you need is here. You should subscribe to get it as a result of that. You should also check out my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog. The blog has step-by-step information on how to be able to make money with the guaranteed strategies that we have to guarantee results for our clients, with screenshots, with everything you need to use them. So you should definitely check that out as well. So beyond that, in summary here, $6 a call is what you can do with Google Ads, and that anybody can get that started today for their local market. If you're in a rural market with only 1 or 2 competitors, you don't even have to be a genius. You could just throw up a basic campaign and get this kind of results. If you're in the middle of LA, it's going to take you some time studying this channel, but anybody can do it. Why? Because still, at the end of the day, 80+% of your market probably only wanted to spend, a couple hours setting up their campaign at most, and didn't care about all of the specifics about it, or they hired a company who don't care, because most of the agencies, 90% of them don't care about whether the client gets results or not. They're just hoping you don't realize it as it works. And if you don't, good on them. If you do, keeping you on as a client anyway. It's too hard to hire good quality people and or too expensive. A good ad strategist like myself, if I were to hire another one of myself, it's going to be $500,000 a year in salary for somebody who really, really knows business strategy, marketing, how it ties in with marketing. And people don't realize this because, frankly, if I could make was 50 grand a year, I would say, piss on this job. I'm going to go start my own towing company, outsource all of the work, and I'm just going to do the marketing, or I'm going to partner with somebody. I'd make my 6 figures that way. Well, you have to put things into perspective for yourself. Good people in the marketing space people who really know how to get results are making just as much as the owner. It's more like a even split. If you're not paying the guy like yourself that is supposed to make you all these sales profitably with your marketing, you're just going to get probably ripped off anymore. That said, you could hire a guy like me in the towing space, spend a couple hundred hours setting this up, hand you an account that works. You can get by with that. It's going to be, might be 5-10 grand to get you an ultra good setup at the beginning, but that baby will work, and you're going to make that back in profit every month once the thing's broken in 6 months, 12 months down the road. I do mean making 5 grand a month profit at least, because we've had, even in smaller markets, we're talking a market like Tallahassee, that size of market. That's not a market we were in, just to give you an example of population. We ran a campaign in a similar populated market, and we're generating 20 to 30 calls a day just off of Google Ads by itself. 20, 30 calls a day, that's a lot of money. That's, 500 calls a month roughly. You can close That's like 300-400 tow jobs a month. That's the type of money you can make in even a moderately populated market. It's worth doing, and if you're going to really make sense of Google Ads, is the final point I want to make, it will make sense because you got to zoom out to understand what you're doing. Most people think, well, I'll invest money into it once it starts working. And it's like putting a damn shot glass of gas in your car and expecting that's going to cut it at the beginning. You're just being a stupid dumbass thinking that way. You got to do it. If this campaign, if it didn't work the first month, the government's going to come blow your head off. If you do that, it will work. Most people just want to try a little bit and they'll say, oh, if it works, hopefully it works. If it doesn't, I'll go back and try later. And then they'll try a little bit and just get it all out of the way. Do it right. Do it the way that, so every dollar has to count for yourself, and then you can actually get some traction with it. Because frankly, the competition that you have wants those customers as well. So unless you're going to do better than them, especially they have a major data advantage on you because they've been running their ads for years already. You got to come up with an even better strategy than them just to compensate for that. A lot of people won't spend the 10 grand in terms of setting up their ad account super well in terms of landing pages, start tracking, all that, because they're like, well, I got to see it work first, and you're just never going to get anywhere. Whereas that 10 grand is literally nothing in the grand scheme of things for this thing. It's going to probably work for the next 10 years for you. Well, if you want to have it work before you invest money into it, you'll just never be one of the people that gets it to make millions of dollars a year for your business. And 10 grand is actually more than what we would even charge to set up a towing campaign, by the way. So it's not even that much. Anybody could go ahead and work their ass off for 6 months, squirrel away 5% of their sales revenue from insurance work, invest it with somebody who really knows how to set up ad accounts on Google, really knows, not somebody who will tell you what you want to hear and that it's cheap and easy, and that somebody with a couple years of experience is a freaking master at it, and then just go to the races. Your business is going to be a multi-million-dollar year business once you have and you've scaled the ads up. It's really that simple. So with that said, I'll wrap it up. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Remember when I said ad campaign was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.